Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the 18th day of February 2025. I don't clearly understand the criminality in saying that the government spent 13 billion in supporting the failed Raila Odinga's AUC bid. And I think the government should rather come clear and explain how much they've spent instead of arresting a member of parliament who is only complaining that taxpayers' money has gone down the drain without anything to show for it. The last time I did my analysis, I said we went wasteful. We used money. And of course, it is because it is taxpayers' money. The treasury cannot account for how much was spent. The State House cannot account for how much they spent. And because the candidature was Kenyan candidature, it was a Kenyan candidate supported by taxpayers' money, it is only decent in the spirit of good governance and accountability to explain to the country, probably even by funding, we can realize what we got wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Juja, Member of Parliament, explaining and speaking about something. A video clip I would want us to listen to keenly.
Mimi ninasema tutaungana pamoja na watu wa ODM, tutaungana pamoja na watu wa Kalonzo Musyoka, chama cha Wiper, tutashirikiana pamoja na chama ambacho kinakuja na Rigathi Gachagua kuhakikisha ya kwamba William Samoei Arap Ruto 2027 hautakuwa rais wa Jamhuri la Kenya. Tutakung'atua katika hayo mamlaka. Tuko na hofu, lakini pia tunamwalika Raila Amolo Odinga arudi katika taifa letu la Kenya, akuje tushikane mkono tuweze kukung'atua katika mamlaka, sababu tumeona ukiwa mfisadi, ukiwa muongo, na kama umeweza kudanganya wachungaji, umeweza kudanganya wa Kenya, umeenda ukadanganya Raila Amolo Odinga ya kwamba atapata kiti ya AU ambayo hakuipata. Sasa Raila Amolo Odinga yafaa ujue huyo mtu ni mtu wa uongo, ni mtu wa kukuchukulia wa kunena uongo, ndio asiwe na mtu wa kumpinga ifikapo mwaka 2027. Tuko na hofu katika Jamhuri la Kenya sababu ya kuona pesa za umma zikitumika vibaya kwenda kuhonga watu ndio waweze kumchagua Raila Amolo Odinga ndio awe chairman wa AU huko Addis Ababa. Ni aibu kubwa sana ambayo tumeiona siku ya jana, kuona William Ruto akijaribu kuhonga mapresident wengine ndio waweze kumpigia kura Raila Amolo Odinga, na zile pesa ambazo anataka kutumia ni pesa za umma, pesa ambazo watu wamelipa kodi ndio tuweze kujengewa barabara, ndio tuweze kuwa na stima, ndio tuweze kuwa na maji, ndio tuweze kuwa na pesa za kulipa walimu ndio waweze kusimamia elimu ya watoto wetu. Ni makosa makubwa sana. Jambo lingine niambie our speaker Wetangula, uko na makosa makubwa sana kutoshirikiana pamoja na wabunge, kutoshirikiana pamoja na mahakama. Mahakama imesema chama cha UDA, mlengo ambao ulikuwa unaitwa wa Azimio, ndio wako na wabunge wengi pale bungeni. Umecheza karata yako, umekataa kutangaza haki ambayo imetoka pale bungeni. Hiyo ni kukeuka sheria, na sisi kama wabunge tutakuchukulia hatua, na ifikapo Jumanne tutakung'atua katika hicho kiti cha spika, tutaweka mtu mwingine.
This member of parliament was speaking over the weekend, and what he saw, he said, William Ruto is that 13 billion was spent, and that was an allegation. 13 billion was spent to bribe African presidents, but still the bid failed. You and I know that that statement might not be factual. In fact, it's not factual because he doesn't have a reference. But again, that is what the politicians do. How many allegations have been leveled against the state on Raila Odinga's bid? So I think what was needed to be done is different. Now, that member of parliament was arrested today on his way to parliament. Karungo Dhangwa, who is Kiambu senator, confirmed, and Ndego Njiru was dispatched, went to DCI, and indeed confirmed that the member of parliament was arrested because of his statements that he made on Sunday. Probably he can face some defamation. I don't know against who. I don't know against Treasury, against Raila, or against President Ruto. It, in fact, doesn't just reach even that threshold. But I did think that instead of arresting that member of parliament, you'd rather fact check, give us a statement. This is how much was spent, and it was from this and this. Was it a budget from the Foreign Affairs docket? Was it a budget from Treasury? And how much was it? Was it money just given through well-wishers? Instead of arresting that member of parliament, I feel that is a misstep. And I'm going to explain to you why that is a misstep. And in fact, William Ruto himself in Addis Ababa, and even President and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, we saw the former Prime Minister flying across 35 African capitals, meeting the presidents with delegation of Makau Mutua, Pauline Njoroge, and part of his secretariat. A secretariat, 11-member team of secretariat was actually formed to spearhead those campaigns. So it is not a secret that money was spent on Raila Odinga's bid. And the state has neither denied sponsoring Raila Odinga campaign. In fact, they are carrying some bragging rights saying that that President Ruto actually supported Raila. And I've been saying he never supported Raila in his individual capacity. He never went to Western Hotel and picked proceeds from Western Hotel to fund Raila. Raila Odinga's bid was funded by taxpayers' money. And I said the state do not have those bragging rights. The President Ruto do not have those bragging rights because it was not his personal money, it was taxpayers' money that was used to support Raila Odinga's bid. Now that statement is now becoming a problem. But I want to say this. I don't think that MP has been arrested for that statement. There is a political motive behind it. And why am I saying? If the state is feeling uncomfortable with those who are peddling rumors about the cost of that campaign, then so many people should be arrested. Bob Owino on flight said, after Raila Odinga lost that election, Bob Owino said it was the continuation of a long con. Willis Otieno was in Citizen TV this morning, and he mentioned diplomatic gaffes, how Kenya facilitated the arrest of Bosije from Nairobi, how we behaved around the DRC. Kalonzo Musyoka on Sunday explained about President Ruto's stand on DRC and why we lost the SADC votes. And even if you go to Citizen, if you listen to Citizen, there are different theories and that are being advanced to explain. No one have a solid answer. But people are now pursuing different possibilities. Then, after arresting that MP, if the state is crashing on those who spoke about the cost, then even within Raila Odinga's circle, including Raila Odinga's family, quite a number of people should be arrested. And the way that has been done selectively is why I am telling you that that arrest has something very sinister. And it was a misstep to arrest that member of parliament. You also need to understand that MP is a close ally of Rigathi Gachagua. And in fact, listen to this part. The reason why Kiomburi was arrested is not because he's saying 13 billion. It's because someone wants to float a narrative that Rigathi Gachagua team and the Kikuyu nation do not mean well for Raila Odinga. Now, I want to tell you that after that election, after that AUC results, there have been an attempt to profile Rigathi Gachagua axis as people who are having serious hate for Raila Odinga. There is a narrative of saying that Kikuyu nation hates Raila Odinga. Now, that narrative is being planted, and I normally do my podcast in my analysis. I normally take a different approach because we need to enlighten the public. That is being done because President Ruto knows that while regarding options that Raila Odinga is pursuing, one of them could be a working relationship with Rigathi Gachagua. And you can be myopic to think that is impossible. It is very possible. Politicians, when interests converge, you cannot even be shocked to hear Raila Odinga saying that Rigathi Tosha. Or Raila Odinga saying Kalonzo Tosha, and Rigathi is there and Raila is standing there. So that is one thing, that is one alliance that the state wants to block. And the best way to block it is to plant a hate narrative that Kikuyu hates Raila. That's not it. I don't think that is it at this context. You can look at it in different dynamics. But on this one, that is being, and I want to demonstrate for you why I believe there is a continuation. I want you to look at this soundbite. After the results, Citizen Crew were in Nyeri. And this group of Nyeri women were reacting to it, and they said wanafurahia that Raila ameshindwa. Na wakasema walikuwa nataka kuje Kenya atusaidie kupigana na Ruto kwa sababu yeye ndiye anajuanga kupinga serikali. Listen to this.
Juu huyu mzee miaka yake imeenda sana. Na sisi tuko na furaha juu huko ni kama alikuwa ameenda kufishwa na huko. Ndio siasa huku kwanza iwe imerudi nini chini. Sisi tuna furaha juu sasa kimeumana. Juu hiyo ndio tulikuwa sisi tunaga. Juu zile zote damas zilikuwa zimetengenezwa. Sasa tunajua zote maba kuisha.
Majina unaitwa nani mama?
Kwa majina naitwa Wanjiro wa Geshero. Na mimi ni mama mboga hapa soko ya Karatina. Mimi ninasema tumefurahi sana na ndio unasikia tunapiga sababu Mungu ameturudishia baba. Sasa tunataka baba akuje aingie parliament. Sababu wao ndio wako wengi sasa. Tunataka akuje asimame kama vile alikuwa anasimama. Yeye ndiye alikuwa anaona watu yeye atatoboa asili. Vile kule watoto wetu wanaenda. Kwa hivyo tunamkaribisha sana na tunamtaka sana. Karibu nyumbani baba.
This video was widely shared by ODM Transaction Wing, the broad-based ODM wing, these people that normally the Kalumas of our time. That wing and a clique of politicians around Kenya Kwanza shared that video and saying they used that video to share it widely so that they tell the country that Kikuyu nation, they told Raila nation that Kikuyu nation hates Raila. So that election should be based on, because Kikuyu doesn't want Raila, we need to vote for Raila. The Kikuyu nation doesn't want Raila, we need to vote for Ruto to punish them. You understand that understanding? And If I want to tell you it was an idea that was just hatched, the same reaction. I want you to look at this other video from Kapseret.
Baba ako sawa bwana, kwa sababu unaona baba, unaona kwa uchaguzi lazima kuna mshindi, kuna mwenye anashindwa na kuna mwenye atashinda, si ndio? Sasa hii uchaguzi baba ako sawa bwana, tunaambia baba karibu tena 2027 akuje, ako sawa bwana. Baba ako nyumbani, ako sawa. Mungu amejibu, Mungu mwenyewe amejibu maombi yetu. Baba ako sawa. Tumeumia sana bwana. Raila angepata hiyo kiketi ya AU hiyo, tungeona moto bwana. Raila ako sawa.
Mimi nasema ya kwamba baba ameshindwa huko Addis Ababa. Tunakaribisha baba akuje nyumbani. Sio mwisho wa uchaguzi. Akuje tu 2027 akuwe competitor ya Ruto. Tutapikania, tutapea kura zetu, atachukua tena. So Raila asilose hope. I know ni mzee lakini akuwe karibu na William Ruto. Serikali iko karibu na yeye. Asante.
Sisi maoni yetu kwa rais ni na Wakenya wote ni alert kwa rais ya kwamba ajue ya kwamba sasa 2027 ni wakati ya kufanya kazi sasa hizi. Isikuwe itafika 2027 yani ni warning tu, amepigwa warning mapema. Kazi ifanyike.
Sijaamini.
What those Kikuyu men in Nyeri are saying is the same as those young men in Elgeyo Marakwet is saying. Kwamba Raila kuja hapa atusaidie. Hii mambo ilikuwa inaenda vibaya. And by the way, across the country, when you listen to the reaction, many people are saying Ruto alikuwa anataka kutoa Raila, lakini sasa wacha Raila arudi tupigana na mambo yetu ya hapa ndani. Now, I want to read for you a tweet from Oscar Sudi. Right, and this is something you can check Oscar Sudi's tweet. He said this: who sent Amina Mohammed to campaign against Baba? That's another narrative. I saw some people celebrating the loss of one of our own just because of personal hatred in a competition that was between our country versus another. It doesn't beat logic, but time will tell. Now, you see that good nation was celebrating Raila's loss. Even in Kisumu City, in Kondele, there were mixed reaction. There are people who are saying, Nisa Baba ameshinda, Baba Rudi. Baba Rudi. There are people who are saying that. But this had to be done within a context. And if you want to know, that was it. You remember, it is for the same reason why a clique of state bloggers realized that Uhuru was a soft target. And they started bringing that narrative that Uhuru Kenyatta decampaigned Raila Odinga, that Uhuru Kenyatta was locked up in some hotel in Addis Ababa. I told you Uhuru was not even in Addis Ababa. That is what I confirmed. I'm reliably informed from a very good source that Uhuru Kenyatta was not in Addis Ababa. The reason why they even they dragged Uhuru Kenyatta's name, was to propel that narrative that Kikuyu hated Raila Odinga. That is the narrative that was being propelled. And you will realize that Ruto did not feel comfortable. The reason why you saw that tweet by Rigathi. Rigathi made a tweet saying, in their own wisdom, Raila did not win, and Raila should come back home. They're willing to work together for the sake of moving this country ahead. And what Ruto knows is always, and let me tell you, do you realize that since impeachment, even though ODM MPs voted to impeach Raila Odinga, even though ODM MPs will always go to rallies to attack Rigathi in front of Ruto, Rigathi is never attacking Raila Odinga. He stopped attacking Raila Odinga. He stopped. Mtamsema kitu, mtamsema, but he will not respond to Raila. And some MPs around Raila Odinga will go to Luo Nyanza and use it because they want to, and because Raila knows they want to impress President Ruto. So he stopped attacking Raila Odinga. At this AUC, he made two tweets. Before the election, he was wishing the best for Raila Odinga, and he said that Kenya has the best. After the election, he also went ahead and said that he is willing to work with Raila for the betterment of our country. The fact that Rigathi have a soft spot for Raila is the reason why that MP is being arrested. And that MP have also said there, akuje to work pamoja so that to push the country ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, the era of using the security for political motives, we agreed it was behind us. I believe that the selection application of the law, if you believe you are cracking down, then really, so many senior politicians have spoken about it. Even around William Ruto himself, there are people that have spoken about that. Now, by arresting this MP, this move is going to backfire because of these three reasons. Number one, by arresting the MP, you are actually charging the public to demand accountability. I saw that post. Citizen TV shared that post. If you look at the comment section, what Kenyans are asking is, yule MP anasema 13 billion. Now, if you believe is wrong, then why don't you come? Because this matter cannot be executed within the courts. I'm even wondering. The narrative, it's public. It's in the public interest to know how much. It is not in the interest of the court. It is not in the interest of the DCI. No, it is in the public interest. You owe that explanation not to that MP. You owe that explanation to the taxpayers' money. So if you're arresting an MP to drag him to court for some charges, I'm wondering what kind of reasoning is that? Who is the accused? Who is the aggressor? And I'm realizing something. Just the same way, it is the same mistake that happened when that Gladys went to SHA, went to storm the press briefing by the CS, who was supposed to issue a statement about SHA. And she was arrested later, only to be released without any charge because, as Kimani Chunga was saying, Kenyatta National Hospital came the next day and acknowledged that indeed what that lady was saying is the truth. It is just the same here. It might not be 13 billion, but it is true that taxpayers' money were used. So I'm wondering, the whole essence of arresting doesn't hold any substantive reason, because by arresting the MP, you're charging the members of the public. Number two, the public is clearly not buying Uhuru Raila sabotaged Ruto. Uhuru Rigathi sabotaged Ruto. Rigathi was not in Addis Ababa. By the 2-year tenure as a deputy president, Rigathi did not make that footprint, his international footprint. And I know why. That was being done intentionally. And so even if you want to drag this narrative, it's not going to sell. That is the one that has failed flat. Lastly, Raila Odinga himself said he doesn't want to carry that blame. And there are reports that Uhuru spoke to Raila on phone in private. The reason why Uhuru never went public about Raila's bid is the fact that because the state is sponsoring Raila's bid, any statement from Uhuru Kenyatta will be used to run the broad-based narrative. And that is why Uhuru Kenyatta disassociated with it. If you would make that statement at the time Raila was facing that AU, that statement would be constructed and tailor-made to push a narrative that Uhuru Kenyatta is supporting the broad-based government. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a misstep. And sometimes I wonder, those who make these decisions, the choice of making that MP, no, it's a wrong move. Thank you.